Hi, hello Maria. Thank you for joining us today to talk about your experience with camp. I thought we'd start off if you just tell us a bit about yourself, how old you are and where you're from.
Okay, so hi, I'm Maria. Currently I'm 22 and I
Mhm,
went to camp when I was 15 and 16. I'm from Portugal, so
mhm.
British countryside was a big change, in the summer especially. I loved camp. I loved L&E. I went there for 2 years. I know lots of people who went to camp. And I'm here to talk more about my experience.
Also, do you want to tell us a bit about the programs you were on and how many you've been on?
So I went to two camps.
Mhm,
So my first year, it was 2016, and I went
mhm,
there for a week. So it was, I think, the first week that camp was open, so the first week of July. And I went to North Camp, so near York, north of England. And then my second year, I was 16, and I wanted to go back to camp so badly that I stayed for 3 weeks.
So, do you want to tell us what did you know about camp before coming?
So I actually didn't know much. So my
mhm,
mom made a suggestion of sending me and my sister to England for the summer, and because a friend of hers had sent her kids the year before, and I was like, yeah, okay. Like I did a summer camp in Portugal just the year before, and I loved it so much. And I was
mhm,
like, the main goal was to like improve English, I guess. But I knew the schedule and I was terrified, like waiting at 8 a.m. breakfast. I was a bit terrified. But then I think once I got there, it was like everything new. Like my first night, it was the Euro Cup and
mhm.
Portugal versus France, and Portugal won. And like
Oh,
people were French. So
yeah.
it was like intense environment. But then the next morning everything was okay. I was 15, so I was in a room with the like 14 to 16-year-old girls. Um,
Mhm.
there was one American, one Turkish, one Swedish, and one French.
Oh wow.
Yes, I guess one thing that I was not expecting at all was that everyone was from like everywhere around the world.
Mhm,
What I was expecting like mostly British, maybe.
mhm.
And then when I heard on the first night, oh, let's go to sleep early because a lot of people are jet lagged, I was like, wait, jet lag from where? And then suddenly my roommate is American, and then a lot of people from like Shanghai, Hong Kong. Um, I guess I think I heard about someone from Australia as well.
Mhm.
Like it was just I didn't realize there'll be this many nationalities.
Yeah.
So that was like my first shock on the first night.
And did you enjoy that nationality mix? Because that's one of my favourite things, seeing so many new people come together and just talking and getting to know each other.
Yeah, I really did. And my roommates were always changing every week that I was so forced to be in an international group. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, I think by the end of the first week, I was mostly hanging out with the British kids. So I think like I immersed myself and everyone
Mhm.
had a perfect British accent. And I was like, okay, okay, this is my life now.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? About meeting new people, becoming immersed in their culture while telling them about your own. I think that's something that's really unique and special about L&E that you don't find in many other places.
Yeah, you don't, I mean, I've only seen that, like I've seen now with my master's, that I'm studying in London, so it's a pretty
Mhm.
international environment. Also, when I studied abroad in the north of England as well.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, those international environments where like everyone and also like especially just this is a very personal like European thing that we speak multiple languages. So I remember like
Mhm.
in camp helping an 8-year-old French kid who could not even say hello. That's really important, and you don't realize it when you're at camp, but then
Mhm.
like later you realize that that was really really important.
Exactly, exactly that. That's what we always find.
Yeah.
So the reverse now, looking back at camp, was it what you actually expected?
I mean, I didn't go in with like a lot of expectation,
No.
but I think like there was like a pretty big group of Portuguese kids. But then I think in my second year, especially, like that was there for 3 weeks, I was
Mhm.
not hanging out with them as much. Um,
Mhm.
I think one thing that I didn't notice, but then some of the teachers told me. I mean, at 16, I felt like I had a pretty good level of English. I had been to British Council for 6 years at that point. So I
Mhm.
think when I started in my first week, I was pretty confident. And when I left, I had so many tutors come up to me and say, "Your English has improved massively. Like, we're
Mhm.
so proud of you." And I didn't even notice. I was like, okay, sure. Like, I didn't think I was that bad when I came in 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
3 weeks can't make that big of a difference. But like I then on the next year in school, like I actually realized that it made a huge difference because although like I'm not reading, I'm not writing in English, but like I'm communicating every single day. And from the moment I wake up, my two roommates are British, and what do I do? Like you have to, like
Exactly.
you have no other choice. And that's the thing that maybe I wasn't expecting. I mean, when I started getting those comments like you improved massively, we're so proud, and I was like, okay, I don't really know what you mean. But then like I realized that it actually makes a difference. Although like I was not taking the classes, still like just being in that environment, it's just like massive improvement.
Exactly that. And we always find that. We always find that a lot of campers that come literally just learn through conversation with other people because you have to, because they can't understand you and you can't understand them because of the language barrier. So you're just learning constantly through conversation, which is something that's really great for everybody.
Yep.
What was your favorite part of camp? What part did you enjoy the most?
Okay, this might seem a little odd, but my first part, like my favorite thing about camp with the
Mhm.
tutors, like anyone's like so ready to help, and like at any point, night, day, the tutor team that I had in summer 2017 was just like amazing. Like everyone
Mhm.
was excellent.
Yeah, and from my perspective, what you're saying is exactly the same as how it is now. um,
Okay, great. Nothing has changed in
no,
2017.
we
I'm glad.
no, we all love the kids. We support them and get on with them, creating different relationships, and basically, we all just want them to have the best summer of their lives, which you know is reflected all the way from when we started to where we are now. What sort of activities did you enjoy doing most at camp?
I think I did a lot of stuff at camp that I've never done again in my life. So scuba diving,
Yeah.
uh, that was the main thing. Well, I mean, collecting wood in the forest. I mean, I'm speaking for like I'm from Lisbon.
Mhm.
I live in the city center, and suddenly I'm stuck in the British countryside with sheep, and I'm like, why am I doing here? And then I think my biggest shock was like within it, like a couple of days, I'm running after sheep, I'm
Mhm.
hopping through fences, I'm collecting wood in the forest to make campfires, I'm running down the hills, I'm eating blackberries from the bushes. And just having this like little like countryside activities that I was never used to. Like not even having like space or green space to run without like realizing that I'm in a big city. So that was like one of the things that I really, really enjoyed. Like I've never thought I would enjoy British countryside so much. Dodgeball.
Yeah.
I got nominated for the Dodgeball Awards. Or did I win? I can't remember if I won or not, but dodgeball was like a very big thing. So we did dodgeball literally every single morning. And
Mhm.
my favorite part was when we had to kill the tutors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So kids versus tutors was like we're trying to kill them as much as possible. And some of the tutors get like pretty aggressive and competitive.
Mhm.
So it was really, really fun. And like waking up to that. Obviously, like waking up at like 7 or 8, can't remember, and then running downstairs, get breakfast, and then you have like a minute to be in the gym for dodgeball. You're like still pretty sleepy, and then suddenly, okay, kill them, kill tutors, secure the ball, let's go. And it's like an amazing way to wake up and be like, okay, competitive, let's go. Because like I am pretty competitive, so I was like, okay, let's win, guys, we have to win. So
Mhm.
it's a pretty like fun activity to start the day, and I really enjoyed that we did that every single morning. Obviously, I was like burning so many calories at camp because you're always moving. Like the schedule is packed from the moment that they wake you up, from the moment that you go to sleep. Like there's always something planned. I think we only had free time and like for a couple hours in the evenings and on Sundays. That was the only free time that we had during the week. But I really, really like. I think the activities at camp are really like well planned. I think there's always something for everyone. Like I remember like most of the girls who were like 8 to 12, they would usually go with like arts and crafts and cooking and stuff like that. I was always in the adventure or the sports team. I mean,
Mhm.
when there was cooking classes, I would go for the chocolates. But like I
Mhm.
was always in the adventure activities. I think there's literally something for everyone. There wasn't a day where I was like, hate everything. I don't want to do anything today. Like that simply does not exist because you have so many varieties and it always changes every single day.
How do you feel like L&E helped you develop as a person?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, so like after L&E, I went back. Obviously, I had to go back to school. I finished high school and then undergrad during COVID, and then I did a semester abroad in Sheffield, which is
Mhm.
very close to York. Um,
Mhm.
and that really felt like L&E. So that L&E bubble is just like it's I mean, it's a safe environment to grow, and I think you learn so many new stuff, and you learn, I mean, you obviously improve English massively, and you form this deep friendships that don't happen ever anywhere else. Like, there's no place where you'd form a best friend overnight just because they're sleeping in the same bedroom as you. Like, being in an intense environment, it really helps you grow and like speak more with people. I guess like I was never a shy person, but I remember a lot of shy kids at camp that by the end of the week they were like chatting to everyone, like asking everyone and stuff like that. It's like great. I would never see you do that on Sunday when you got here. So I think you learn a lot of stuff from camp. And obviously like I was 16 then, now I'm 22. And like I have the best memories.
What would you say, this is probably a really hard question for you. What do you think the best thing about L&E World Camps is?
That's really, really hard. I mean, there's so many like things that I have like so many memories from Melanie. I mean, friendships were really, really impactful. Like the friendships that we formed, like I remember like after I left Melanie, we kept in touch for a while. Like I even had some friends from the UK visiting me in Lisbon. Like I think
Oh.
yeah, you form those like really deep friendships that stay for a couple months or years, and
Mhm.
it's it's surprising because it's definitely something that you're not expecting at all. Like you are going to camp for a week and then you come back and that's it. You go to back to your life and then you suddenly have like, especially like now with like all the kids have phones, you have this like amazing L&E community online, like having group chats with everyone who went to camp in the same week as you. And you talk about everything that happened at camp and everything that's going to happen next year when you meet again at camp. So I think that like L&E community is the most special thing. I would 100% recommend to anyone.
Mhm.
I mean, even if you're 16 and you think that no one's going to be your age and no one's going to be your friend and it's going to be just a bunch of boring 10-year-olds, it's not. I had the best time when I was 16, when I was 15. I mean, and there were like so many little things like we would have like one chocolate cookie per kid and then be
Mhm.
like, okay, one more. And the tutors would make up trivia questions. and that's like math and stuff like history questions, stuff like that. And only if you got it right, you got another cookie. So I think there's like those little memories were like so special now that I look back at camp. Like those little memories and those little things that like that were just an everyday thing. Those are really, really special.
Yeah. We have them tell a joke now, but same thing, and they get another cookie. Um, so one final thing then. How would you describe L&E in 3 words?
I mean, I think I'm going with the sentence that we heard every single day, probably 5 times a day. Be
I
kind,
thought
be
this.
kind, be kind.
Yeah.
Uh, we were hearing this like 14 times a day. It's really like Alanie's theme and like everything revolves around that. Like it's really a safe environment, and if anything happens, tutors are there, older kids are there, and no one is unkind or like, especially because this is kids. So we're talking about like 10-year-old kids. And this is like a very safe environment. Like there's absolutely no bullying whatsoever, stuff that does happen in schools. And you can
Mhm,
be going through that throughout the school year. And in summer camp, no one knows you. This is just new people, new friends. It might seem like terrifying, but then
mhm.
be kind, be kind, be kind. Everyone is kind. Everyone is gonna take you in as a friend. You just really have to say hi.
That's all the questions I have. Do you have anything final to say before we finish up here?
I would just say that I 100% recommend camp. Like, there's not a person who would not benefit from going to camp, especially if English is not your first language.
Mhm,
Then definitely go to camp. Like, then definitely go. And I would say take in the most and participate in every single thing. Like there's probably like a kid who's gonna be like, maybe I don't want to do this. I don't want to
mhm.
speak to people. I'm a bit shy. Like just push yourself to participate in every single thing because I guarantee you that everyone is going to be kind to you and you are going to leave camp with friends. Like that's non-discuss. That's like non-negotiable. That's going to happen.
Yeah. No, that's so lovely, and thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me today. It's really nice to hear, like, from a previous camper how much of a fun time they have so that other people can see this and be like, "Actually, I'm gonna have, like, the best time of my life. I need to go."
Yeah, you are, definitely. I mean, I love L&E. I've been following L&E since I was there. Like, I really, Sam has kept in touch with my mom from time to time. Like, I think like this L&E community, like anytime I open L&E's website, I see my 15-year-old photograph in braces, and I'm like, oh no. But I really, really enjoy the L&E. I think like it's a tiny little bubble of the, like this
Mhm.
international community, and I really had the best experience. I could not recommend it more.
No, that's lovely, and thank you so much for all that. So I guess we'll end it here if that's okay with you.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria.